Hello, fellow creatures of the void. Welcome to One Frame Off. My name is Rose Nightingale.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Brody.
And today we're talking about the past, the present, and the future of Marvel. Maybe.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe, the comics that inspire them, our observations of them.
And we've got Jess, who doesn't really know much.
I do not know. My knowledge is very amateur. I've seen most of the main movies. I have like some favorites, but like ultimately, I'm just a layman.
And this was the inspiration for us to originally do this podcast. Me and Rose, we are both very big time nerds.
I love Loki. He is my boy.
She does love her.
Fight me on it.
And she also loves a lot more of the comics, and I'm more of a movie nut. And whenever we talk about this, we always have Jess as the one person or the one frame who's off.
Yep.
And that's where we get the podcast.
Me. So we're kind of exploring the whole situation where someone brings up a book, movie, TV show, podcast, song, or such. And they're always like, you haven't seen, read, heard what now?
Oh my
Why
God,
not?
Your opinions don't matter. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
No, we don't do
This is a space for all of you who have been living under a rock.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And don't share our corners of the universe.
Or maybe you do and you just want three people to vibe with for an hour. I have no idea.
That's fine. All right. We got that. We introduced ourselves. We introduced the concept. Let's get right into it. So, in the past year, starting around February or so, we were introduced to Wanda Vision, which really shook the core to a lot of people. It became like a big hit and really just tried to do a lot of things that we just really haven't seen in these big action-y Marvel movies.
No, and even I know that.
Yeah.
Jess
I know that.
watched.
Yeah.
Jess, how much do you know about WandaVision?
I know, like, the basic gist of the story. Like, a grief-stricken Wanda imprisoned a Pleasantville-esque town and is kind of living out her life through sitcoms.
Yes. Oh, my Lord.
Yes, so I have, like, the gist. But do I know anything about it? Like, no, absolutely not.
Okay.
And I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going
tried.
to.
No,
Yeah.
I've tried. Brody and we've tried to get Jess to watch
Rose gave me the
WandaVision.
Disney Plus login. I just used it to watch The Simpsons, so.
Yeah, really, it just kind of came down to... And then we all just tried to explain WandaVision to Jess, and she was just like, that's cool, still
But
not
we also
watching.
attempted Loki, but we'll get into that one.
We tried Loki, but same thing. No
Yeah,
dice.
sorry, guys.
She did watch, I was successful to get her to watch one of the episodes for What If.
I did, yeah. It was the Party Thor episode, which I
Party
actually
Thor.
am a big Thor lady. I love Thor. Love me some Chris Hemsworth. I'm very down for... Oh, and Taika Waititi, so I'm very down for the Thor movies. I also love the Guardians movies, but I know we're not talking about that specifically today.
We could. I like the
we-
Guardians.
I really
we
like
do
the Guardians movies. I really
gotta
like the
say-
Thor movies. And of course the Avengers. Such a good time.
I gotta say, though, Gamora coming out of no freaking where. That kind of annoyed me for What If.
Yeah, like, I thought I
was an
missed an
episode.
episode.
There was an No, there was an
What is
episode.
it, if Gamora didn't die by the hands of her father?
No, so I don't know the premise of the episode for Gamora, but in What If, we'll talk a little bit more about this later. But in the What If series, the two last episodes,
Yeah.
we pulled Gamora in, but she hadn't had her episode yet, and she is known as the survivor of
Sakaar and killer of Thanos.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Tony is in his his
It's like
Iron
a
Man.
Hulkbuster style.
Yeah, it's a Hulkbuster, but it's in Sakaran. I don't
Fashion?
know. Fashion, yeah. It's in
Sakaar
Sakaran fashion.
style. It's all the hit with Tony Stark and his technologies these
So
days.
the premise that I read.
For those that are like me and don't know what a Sakaran style would be, can you paint a picture?
You've still seen
The
Thor Ragnarok, right?
the
Yeah.
Hulkbuster.
The Hulkbuster was used is a big Iron Man suit that's like a big chunky thing to beat up the Hulk.
Take this image. So you know how in Thor Ragnarok,
Close your eyes and imagine this. Unless
I
you're
am right
driving.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so all of the
Just do it real quick.
all of like the ornaments and the paint that the Hulk is wearing when Thor meets him after their whole brawl.
Like Trash Planet style.
Yeah.
Yeah. When
But
he goes, yeah,
take
friends
that
from
and
work.
apply it to Tony Stark's big, bulky Hulkbuster. And that's the kind of style that you would be looking at for Tony Stark's Sakaran armor.
Yeah,
I guess
next
is what we're
to
gonna call it.
Gamora in Thanos' golden armor, looking
Yeah.
like a straight up badass.
So we get Gamora just randomly pulled out of her universe with no context. Apparently, we're going to get that episode in season 2. It was supposed to be in season 1, but who knows what the hell happened to that.
I'm still looking forward to it, though.
I'm excited.
But anyways, back to
But-
WandaVision.
We have What If, and then we also have...
WandaVision. I really wanted to
WandaVision.
get into that.
He wants to get into that. But we also have Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I am kind of... It needed to be renamed at the end. Instead of Captain America and the Winter Soldier, it should have been Captain America and the White Wolf. But you know what? We'll get to that.
Get to that.
And then we also have Hawkeye.
Hawkeye and...
Yeah, Hawkeye.
Yay!
I shoot arrows real
Jess's fucking
fast.
favorite.
Yeah.
I can't.
But-
SNL did a really great bit on it where like what happens when he runs out of arrows, and I really do recommend looking that up because we've all thought it. We've all thought it.
We've all...
But before we
He's
get...
just a man.
I've seen an empty quiver, okay? I've seen it. I've seen the empty quiver in
His
the
one
fucking
weakness.
movies. Like, I know. Yeah. Not enough arrows.
Jess, you had a question that you wanted to ask Brody and I before we really got into too much into like WandaVision, though.
Oh, I mean, for all these shows in general, I think for someone like me who is loosely keeps up with the MCU in general, how are these shows important to the overall cinematic universe? Like, are they important? Is this just as skippable as Captain Marvel? Because let's be honest,
I don't
you
know.
didn't need to see that.
Yeah, I would definitely want to say that if nothing else, this is the best that the set design and prop design has ever been for any MCU project. Because like I actually went to college with someone who is working in props there. I'm not going to out them, but they know who they are, and hopefully they're listening, and I like them. They're a cool friend. And
Hi, Brody's friend.
hi, they're not your friend. They're my friend.
I said Brody's friend.
Okay, well, don't be stealing my friends.
All my friends are your friends.
All my friends are your friends. That's how it works.
Yeah, it is.
But no, like, traditionally we've seen these big, like, high CGI cartoons of MCU movies, and it was very nice to see them stylistically do whatever they want in the form of making different, like, TV sort of styles. So, like, every episode representing a different decade's worth of television styling, starting with, like, Bewitched and Dick Van Dyke, and going all the way up to sort of a Modern Family-esque kind of thing. And it was really nice to just like have this sort of refresher, and also in the same time show like a good deal of character development for Wanda.
Do you think that was the show well received by audiences?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I
Yeah.
mean, that has to bode well in the future for other projects for the MCU, at least. Like,
Of course.
whether or not it pertains hugely to the movies that are released. You know what I mean? Like, is this
These
a
are
golden
full-on-
kernel that is going
Right.
to make a lot of sense to me in a new movie?
That's the thing, though. Like, I don't know. Personally, it's really going to be a gambit because these are full-on character arcs. Like, the last we saw for Falcon and Winter Soldier, like, Falcon, yes, he was given the shield, but we don't see in the movies, we're not going to see the full fallout that happened with him getting the shield. Like, him saying, I am Captain America, not the other guy. Like, Steve gave me the shield, I'm taking up this mantle,
Right.
and having to deal with all the racism.
Are we talking about
and-
Anthony Mackie?
Yeah. Anthony Mackie's character.
Yeah.
Like, Sam
He's the
Wilson.
bird. He's the Birdman.
Yeah, Sam Wilson,
Birdman.
who is the Falcon. We don't see all that. We don't see him tackling the racism or the police, stigma.
Brutality.
Right. And there
Yeah,
definitely
police
is like
brutality.
that conversation within the show.
But that's a whole on character arc that we're not going to see in the films. So how is we're introduced to new characters. We're introduced to Agatha
Yeah.
in WandaVision. We're
Yes.
introduced
Catherine Hahn.
Catherine Hahn.
Catherine
We're
fucking Hahn.
introduced to Sylvie and Mobius and
Yeah.
Loki. And then in What If, we're introduced to the Watcher.
Right.
And then we're going to be introduced to Kate Bishop in the new Hawkeye series. So for people who don't watch those series, how are we going to reintroduce the characters, right?
Yeah.
In the movies.
That's a good question. It's like I don't really know too much of how to answer that
I don't
because
know
I know that
either.
these characters are definitely coming back.
Yeah. No, like we've already gotten confirmation from Owen Wilson that Mobius is certainly coming back, and
Season 2 at least. And
season 2 and in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness in February.
And I'm definitely sure that we're going to see Agatha again.
Yep, Agatha's coming
what
back.
I've read is correct. Catherine Hahn's going to be getting her own show.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've read that recently.
If that's the case, then I need a Jimmy Woo.
A Jimmy Woo show?
A show. My God, him just dealing with all the bullshit from the Avengers.
Just
Come
him.
on.
Just
He's the
him doing
FBI.
paperwork to fix everything that they fucked
For
up.
everyone who doesn't know, he's the FBI agent who kind of gets on Ant-Man's case.
Yeah, he
Ant-Man
puts him
and
on
Wasp.
house arrest.
And he pops up in WandaVision. He plays a very big role in WandaVision, actually. So I would love, if we're getting an Agatha series, I want a Jimmy series. Come on, guys.
Gimme
You
Jimmy.
heard it here first.
Gimme Jimmy, man.
Gimme Jimmy.
But no, I feel like this is definitely like the next chapter in Marvel. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
like introducing new
There
characters.
are
is
two
nice.
series. There's, in terms of the comics, there are 2 comic arcs that are being introduced by Marvel at this point: the Young Avengers
Yeah.
and the Secret Invasion.
I know very little about both of those comics.
I feel like the Young Avengers seems unnecessary. And I think we've maybe had like a personal
Cute.
discussion about this before.
I'm sure they'll make another little series
Look,
of a
we have-
treehouse gang of
Yeah, Teen Titans
superheroes.
has been done.
All right.
Well, I mean, the
we don't
Secret
need to do that.
Invasion is one that I personally haven't read, but I do know that based on us being introduced to the
Scrolls?
Scrolls,
The shape-shifting aliens
Yeah.
who could...
there's a whole arc with them and the secret. It's this whole
Yeah,
thing.
they've kind of been like mentioned here and there for like a lot of projects in even the past. So I'm sure they're going to have their time in the sun to
They're-
come into fruition.
Yeah, and that is actually something that is on the board for Marvel to develop later on. Like in 2022, I think we're going to get the Secret Invasion at some point.
Can I just sideline real quick and appreciate the fact that the MCU is so big that we have Wanda, who's a magical witch. We have actual alien invasions. We have espionage movies. We're going to have vampires.
Oh shit,
Oh,
there's
all in
vampires.
this-
that's right.
All in the
I
same
forgot.
in
Oh,
the same
wait.
world.
There is a throwaway line by Mobius in the Loki series.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we've gotten scrolls, we've gotten these
Vampires.
vampires.
Oh yeah, and this is like vampires are fucking about.
Yeah, we got vampires. So
Vampires.
what?
It's just like he mentions
so
them.
I am down for some vampire action. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, and vampires in the movie Blade. And you know who
I was gonna
plays-
say Blade. Yeah, is it Blade?
You know who plays Blade? Mahershala.
Wesley Snipes.
Better.
No?
Mahershala Ali.
I don't know who that is. Should I?
He's amazing.
How about you? Can you name some stuff? Because I don't know.
He was in Moonlight.
Oh, Moonlight
He-
is so heartbreaking. I could not finish it. It was so
Oh,
hard to watch. I just
no.
couldn't. But it's like I don't want to get sidetracked too much here, but it's like, have you ever seen 8th Grade by Bo Burnham?
Oh yeah.
I couldn't finish it because it rang so
it
true.
just gets so.
Yeah, it's like when a movie cuts you that deep and you can't finish it. Moonlight was that for me. Like, it was hard.
That's how I felt watching WandaVision. I mean that as a joke, but there actually are some very well received emotional moments.
I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. I don't want to say cringe, but it's like you relate so much to the hardship and the embarrassment that your character is going through or that you're watching that I can't even continue. Like, I can't continue. It is too much of an emotional experience for me.
Yeah. But getting back to WandaVision, there are definitely like a lot of like emotional moments that we saw because at its core it is a love story. It's a love story between a magic lady and her
In her Tin Man.
Tin Man.
I will say that WandaVision is a very good example of going back to the source material because if Anyone who's actually read the comics knows what I'm talking about. I'm talking about House of M, which you really don't need to know too much about it. There aren't a lot of differences, although there are some major differences between WandaVision and the comic series. But basically, if you know the comics, you know the overall plot, you know WandaVision and the series, at least season 1 of WandaVision.
Ooh.
We've been teased that there may be a season 2 at some point, but I'm not. But House of M is basically well represented to what WandaVision did, especially with introducing her children, right? Wanda basically has this moment of grief and has 2 kids who actually lead into the Young Avengers.
Yep. Speed and Wiccan.
Which for some reason
Also, side note, my puppy is in the building with us, so if you hear any
Yep.
dog noises or barking, that is my Chihuahua puppy Gertrude. Just
we have
side
one
note.
of the 3
One of our little mascots.
Yeah,
one of our 3 mascots is here.
Yeah,
We all have a dog. Just as a little
she a quarantine puppy. She liked to be around.
I've had my dog. He's an old man. His name is Maru. He's 14 years old.
He's a sweet baby. He looks like a little mini Falcor.
And I am living with my brother and his fiance, and they got a little pit bull named Pumpkin.
Yes.
Pumpkin is adorable.
Pumpkin the
my
pit bull.
God. But yes, we've got Gertie in the building with us, so if you hear her.
Just
It is what it is.
It is what it is. You can't control puppies.
You can't control puppies. What are you going to do?
What was the name of the dog that they had in WandaVision?
Oh, Sparky.
Sparky. R.I.P. Sparky.
Oh,
He's a dog that the twins get that
It was
is
one
killed
episode-
by Agatha.
in the very special episode.
Agatha killed a dog.
Agatha,
Yes.
what that bitch.
Oh my god.
Agatha, so for everyone who doesn't know, Agatha is basically Wanda's pseudo friend,
They're frenemies.
frenemies, and kind of mentor.
Or
And
just friends with most female relationships.
no, Wanda absolutely hates her at some points.
Yeah, well, like I said.
Be like that.
Ouch.
In the show, we are definitely given like a little bit of backstory. She was in a coven a long time ago, and
Salem. She was one of the original witches from the Salem witch trials, and was tried by her coven for blatantly using magic when she shouldn't have. And she's like, "Well, teach me." And her coven's like, "No, you're evil, so we're gonna kill you instead." They tried to kill her. Agatha ends up killing all of them, and Agatha's like, "All right, well, I'm going down this path."
yeah, and she also gives the best exposition for Wanda's character.
Yes.
And actually name drops her
As the Scarlet Witch.
a
We
witch
finally
who
get
controls chaos.
So, the comics don't do a very good job of explaining her powers. However, WandaVision does a great, in the whole of the series, it is a great explanation of what she can do.
Mm-hmm.
Because she basically takes her powers. You have, let's just say, Universe 1,
Yeah.
Universe A.
Universe original,
Yeah.
alpha, whatever.
Alpha, whatever. Yeah, Universe Alpha, and then you have Universe Beta.
Mm-hmm.
Beta is overlaid on top of Alpha, and that's the Hex in WandaVision.
Yes.
So-
The big force field that when you go inside turns you into a little TV show side character.
So,
No, it makes total sense. I'm listening, I swear.
You're just like zoned out, like, which I totally get. I'm sure, like, actually watching
So-
this is way better.
But we're gonna try.
But I'm not going to do
We're
it.
trying.
This is why we're here.
We're trying our best. Hopefully, there's someone at home who hasn't seen WandaVision is getting this.
So Wanda just kind of overlays a universe in which Vision is still alive,
Mm-hmm.
and they have kids. Who is a speedster? I think I started talking about this.
Yep.
Oddly enough, one of them is a speedster like Pietro, which
Yeah.
is so weird to me.
A speedster?
Yeah,
What's
he
that?
has like
He's
super
fast.
speed. He's really fucking fast.
Oh, okay. Like the Flash.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Do we also want to talk about the Evan Peters meta joke?
You probably should, because even I know about it.
Yeah,
Lord.
so for those who need a quick reminder, Evan Peters played Quicksilver in another X-Men movie, which
The Fantastic Four?
X-Men.
X-Men?
X-Men.
So Fantastic Four, X-Men,
Isn't there a fast guy in Fantastic Four, though?
No, that's
The Human Torch.
That's the Human Torch.
Yeah, there's a surfer. He's fast.
The Silver Surfer.
Yeah. He's fast.
Jessica Alba with those blue contacts.
Oh, Lord.
Super creepy.
But you were asking how well received it was. A lot of people did not like that originally when they realized it isn't them bringing mutants in. Instead, it's just a boner joke.
See, that's the thing about House of M, though. Wanda goes, lack of better terms, batshit crazy.
Oh, yeah.
In House of M, in the comics. And that kind of leads into the whole, like, mutant thing and goes off into such a direction. But her kids, though, lead into the Young Avengers. Now, we have gotten another reference to the Young Avengers with Kid Loki.
Oh, yes.
And I need more content, because you can't just throw a line of, oh, I killed Thor, and just be done. Okay?
Do
you can't.
Do we just want to pivot over to Loki now?
No.
No? We still got some Wanda Vision in us?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, the Hex is one thing. I mean, that's just everything. But Jimmy Woo.
Jimmy Woo.
I love him.
Gimme Jimmy.
Jimmy, man. Jimmy. But,
Hashtag gimme Jimmy.
we also see character development from Darcy. That's the other thing I really wanted to talk about. Because when we first meet her in Thor 1, she's,
Comic relief.
Darcy is the girl from, like...
She's the black-haired intern for
Kat
Jane.
Dennings. Is that Kat Dennings? Yeah, I like Kat Dennings. She's talented.
Kat Dennings is an amazing, like, comedic actress. And she's still treated as the comic relief. But there is one kind of throwaway line in the series that I want to point out that shows the passage of time for everyone else who lives in the universe. When we meet Darcy in Thor 1, she's an intern working in college. When we meet her in Wanda Vision, they're like, Miss Lewis. She goes, Dr. Lewis.
Yeah, she's definitely given way more agency in
So
this series.
now it shows that this is a passage of time for
Wait,
the
Kat
MCU.
Dennings is in WandaVision?
Yes.
Cool.
We have led with
here he
that.
goes, guys. Kat Dennings and Katherine Hahn, two great comedic actresses that I had no idea that were in WandaVision.
Jess is not. Jess is trying.
What? They're both wonderful.
It's like, Kat Dennings.
Yeah, Kat Dennings. Okay.
Yeah, they're both wonderful.
Do you have anything else you want to know about WandaVision?
No, actually, I feel like WandaVision has been really wrapped up for me in terms of, the discussions we've had here, obviously, but it's also been out the longest for
That's
everything. True. So, spoil alerts have been abound for a while. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm still not going to watch it, though. I'm going to watch The Simpsons instead.
Also, for people who are just now listening to this,
years.
I'm just saying this is the first, final, and only spoiler alert ever on the show.
I thought.
Oh, yeah.
We
Side
are-
note, that should have been very apparent from the beginning.
Our whole
whole
shtick
thing.
is spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah. But then again, I mean, how else is someone who doesn't
So
watch...
many times, though, like, I'll hear the ending of a movie and I'm like, that sounds really good. I'm going to go watch it now. Like, it very rarely deters me unless it's, like, an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah, where you say oh, and then it's a bad twist. It's like, that's kind of
Which,
dumb.
by the way, at the end of this podcast, we're going to spoil Old for you if you haven't seen it yet.
Oh, Lord.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess we can talk about... Because that really is... No, it's not. Because it's Falcon and the Winter Soldier that came out next.
Oh yeah, let's get to that next.
That's the one series that I've only watched once.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Look, okay, Anthony Mackie may be a national treasure at this point, and so is Sebastian Stan.
Oh, and there were 0 bad performances in this
Oh
show.
my god. But let me tell you guys, they weren't my characters. Alright?
No.
My character's coming up, my boy. Listen.
You got your favorites.
Or I have my favorite, and so does Jess.
You have to be... yeah, okay, I was just about to say you have to be impartial, but...
No, no, honey. We're gonna throw that right out the window.
No, this is very opinionated.
Yeah, 100%.
Obviously.
None of this is based in fact at all.
Loki
It's all our
is
personal opinions.
naturally the best character of them all. What are you talking about?
He's a complex guy.
He is complex.
complex.
They all are.
But no,
although-
we can't get away from, unfortunately, talking about it.
And I've heard a lot of different names, and I think we just want to bring up the name now about the name change. At the end, at the beginning it's presented as the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then it
that's
becomes
that's
Captain
the name.
America and the Winter Soldier, because by the end he picks up the shield and
Sam
establishes
Wilson,
himself as
yeah.
Captain
Did
America.
they dynamically change the intro graphics to represent this?
Yes,
Yeah.
they did.
Oh, that's
Yes.
awesome. Yeah, that's
I was
wonderful.
about to say no, but yes, they do.
Yeah, that's
But
great. I
the
like
thing.
that.
I mentioned this earlier. That's the thing that really pisses me off about that series, because Bucky Barnes, who is played by Sebastian Stan, he's the Winter Soldier.
Hey,
Yeah.
can I ask a question real quick? Because I don't know a lot about the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Why is he so important and special?
So basically, did you ever watch?
I've only seen the first Captain America movie.
So
Only
you
the
didn't
first?
See,
Yeah, only the
did
first.
you? Did you?
I'm not
see,
gonna watch the other ones.
Captain
You should
America:
watch
Civil
Captain-
War.
You should
Civil
watch
War?
that.
Yeah, I've seen Civil War.
So basically, the guy who kills Tony's parents, and
He kills Tony's parents?
spoiler alert,
I thought they were
So-
already dead.
So the
No.
whole shtick of the Winter Soldier is that
he's a brainwashed. So in
Oh, he's like a
Captain
Russian
America.
sleeper spy.
no,
Yes.
kind of in Captain America, there is a moment
Yes,
where
no.
yes, no, maybe, sort of.
sort of. So the moment is he gets taken away. Bucky Barnes gets captured, and so Steve Rogers, he takes up the mantle and actually does become Captain America because of this. His whole platoon goes missing, and when Steve Rogers goes out to find the platoon, he finds that Bucky's not with the rest of the group, right? So he goes hunting around the facility, and you see that in the facility, Bucky is strapped to a chair. They've already started experimenting on him. Now, what happens later on in Captain
Do we
America...
know why Bucky was chosen and not other people?
No, hold on. There is a reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting to that.
I want to know. We want to
So
know.
Bucky fell off a train. And
That's the one special thing that happens.
Literally, he falls off. The whole thing is they're doing a mission, right? So this is after
Is he injured?
He is.
I mean, he does lose an arm.
He lost his arm because of this. He gets he ends up frozen and lost an arm in the accident because he fell off the train. And Hydra already started experimenting on him before Captain America, Steve Rogers, interrupted them.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, hey, it's this guy. Didn't we start experimenting
I
on
know
him?
you.
I know you. Let's keep...
Did you lose weight?
Yeah. Let's,
Steve lost about 10 or 20 pounds. I don't know how much arms weigh.
So they brought him back, and they put him into basically a program for other super soldiers, and he is forced to have the super
Is it
soldier
the same
serum.
program that Captain
No.
America went through?
So no,
He
this
was like
is
a tiny little shrimpy man, and then
not
he became the big bulking Chris
That's
Evans
like the
that we know
good
today.
super soldier serum that
That's the
they tried
original.
replicating.
That's the
Is it
original.
like
so
Bane
every
stuff?
No,
No.
not
Okay.
quite.
so basically for the super soldier serum in the rest of the MCU from Captain America off, everyone's trying to recreate it, but Steve Rogers had the original and had the best version of it.
Yeah.
Everyone else is given either a knockoff like a black market knockoff copy, or some altered version from the original that they were able to scrape together after his notes.
So,
Like
so it doesn't have the same effect of
It will not,
bulking
no.
you up.
So they're never going to be Captain American level strong.
No, but
But will be way
they
better than
do-
any human.
Well, yeah,
they
for
do
sure.
try. It comes close a few times. But Bucky is chosen as a part of this
follow up to
program.
this, because I also thought this when I was watching the last Avengers movie, when he does pass his shield on to Anthony Mackie's character. I'm sorry, he's the Birdman.
Sam Wilson.
Sam Wilson. He's the guy in the bird suit. What the hell does that guy do? He just
okay.
operates a suit, right?
So no, there's a little
Can
bit
he
more
hold
to it.
the shield?
Yes, that's
Good
the whole
hands.
point. So here's going back.
Unlike
to
Bucky.
It's like concerned about
it's
the
heavy.
series. He actually does mention that.
Yeah, it's heavy.
No, he does mention it is made out of vibranium.
Yep.
So he does he's practicing with it. There's a scene in Captain America and Falcon and the Winter Soldier where Sam is practicing with the shield and he's throwing it back and forth, and he's like, "Damn, I'm not like Steve. This is kind of hard to do," but he does get it.
I think it's worth noting that that's not originally what he wanted to do.
No,
The first episode is him donating the shield.
he was promised. So can I go back to my whole?
By all means.
I want to finish my rant about the Winter Soldier. He gets brainwashed, ends up assassinating JFK, which, caveat to that, there is a reference to the JFK assassination in X-Men. I don't remember.
Gosh, man,
Yes.
so much Umbrella
But-
Academy stuff.
But the thing is, like, they're treated separately, and it's all this other kind of insanity to it. But Bucky does end up assassinating JFK, and he becomes a brainwashed assassin who kills a lot of people, and gets, like, when he's done with his missions, he's basically put back into this capsule
Yeah.
and sleep.
They put
he
him on
has-
ice.
Yeah, they literally put him on
Put
ice.
him on ice.
So he looks like no time has passed. Basically, like Steve. Steve went into a glacier and fell asleep, quote unquote, and got frozen for
Yeah.
like 70 years or
Whereas
something.
Hydra's kind of been like punching him in and out
Yeah.
for a murder shift.
Yeah, pretty much. Literally, that's what happens. Steve Rogers finds out that Bucky is still alive, tries to save Bucky. Bucky ends up in Wakanda for a while and doing all of this therapy and remediation.
And that is something worth noting, that like his
And it
big
is
arc.
highlighted in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
But the thing is, at the very end of that series, they still say Captain America and the Winter Soldier and not Captain America and the White Wolf.
Don't they
because-
even have a throwaway line where it's like they're like bantering around? There's like, oh, what are you, White Panther? It's like, I'm the White Wolf.
He's the White Wolf. That's the name that he was given by the Wakandans after like his therapy, after his remediation. 'Cause
I like that. He's like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Except
Exactly.
he's a wolf.
He's not the
But-
Winter Soldier anymore.
It's
Winter
like
He's
Soldier
not
is
the
who
Winter
he was.
Soldier. And in the series, this is another issue I have with the Disney Plus series. How are you going to... These are full-blown character arcs. How are you going to reintroduce the fact that Bucky is no longer the Winter Soldier? He is...
They're gonna do it with like an 80s montage at the very beginning of the movie.
I swear to God, that better be what it is.
it would be
I want that deleted
wonderful.
scene. I want that deleted scene of him
There-
just
there
in
better
the
be.
80s
cockpit.
montage, beginning of the movie, like
But yeah, like that's my point though.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna see that character arc. Everyone's still gonna see him in the next Captain
so
America.
actually what I think is a little ironic here is like this is probably your least liked show we could say overall that's been released recently.
It doesn't hold a
it
candle to the other
might
two.
be the most important one you need to watch
It
for the
is.
upcoming movies.
That's
Because
the weird
Captain
part.
America
Heartbreaking, huh?
4. Captain America 4 is coming out. 4? It is 4, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Captain America 4 is
I
coming
saw
out.
the first one and I noped out of all the others.
Oh, that's you got to give the
not
other
going
ones a
to. I'm not
chance.
going to.
You should,
I'm
though.
not going to.
All right.
I'm not going
Alright.
to. Just
That's
I'm,
why we're
I'm here
here.
for my baby Thor.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, everyone has their favorites.
We
That's
all
how
we
it
all
is.
have our things. You know what I mean?
Also, it talks a lot in lore, like in the universe. The snap happens, Thanos erases half the universe.
Oh,
There is
yeah.
actually references in Captain America and my God, I keep saying that. In Falcon and the Winter Soldier, there are references to the 5 years that it took for the rest of the population to come back.
Do you want to explain the villains? And I just don't like the villains. Their whole shtick is
Yeah.
that
Who are the villains in this? Because I got in Winter Soldier. Because
so
I
they're
don't
like
think we
these
discussed that.
freedom-fighting rebels who say
I already hate it.
Yeah.
I already hate it.
So basically, it's
it already disinterests me.
Yeah,
Well-
you're zoned out. It's not worth it.
the villains of this series.
Bad guys with guns, huh?
They believe that the world was better when there was not enough people, and then they were all
No,
like, let's
they
try to fix the
believed-
world together.
No, so they believed that in the wake of the snap, in which is what it's called in the MCU Marvel Cinematic Universe, the snap, everyone kind of got displaced and countries' borders changed to the point where there weren't any borders. Like countries weren't as defined because they realized
Yeah.
half the population was demolished, a lot of culture, a lot of history, a lot of people were lost. So we all have to band together and stick together at this point to figure out how we're going to cope, how we're going to move forward.
But then the blip happens when Hulk uses the stones to bring everyone back.
So the blip comes back, and this is the fallout of everyone coming back from that. And this group,
They basically say all the progress that they saw in the past 5 years, and we're like, hey, let's not do that anymore. Let's just go back to hating each other and building up walls. and
that's
their whole
how
idea.
they felt. No, that's how they felt the government was.
I think it's also worth noting here that a lot of people that I saw, at least like on message board, in conversations I had with people, whatever, a lot of people agreed with Thanos's
No,
end
Thanos could
goal.
have snapped and
But
multiplied.
I need to,
I'm sorry.
I
He
need to
could
just
have
say, like,
multiplied.
fundamentally, if you
Make
were
more
on planet
planets.
Earth to
Make
get rid of half
more.
our population, we would be sustainably unfunctional.
You know who he needs?
And that's
he
exactly
needs a
what
child.
happened.
It would be even worse than depicted in the show, though.
Yeah.
Like, it would, like, things would not be happening at all.
Yeah, but this group is like, oh, well, things were different and we got used to it.
I just need to sideline real quick. Whatever T'Challa said to Thanos in that What If episode, I need to hear it.
Oh my god, yes.
We'll get to that later, but
We'll get to that.
let's put a pin in that.
But yeah, that's really the group. It's a struggle for them against the government.
And they're specifically going against one fictional government agency, right? Like the
Yeah, so
rebordering
basically-
committee, whatever.
Yeah, pretty much it's the rebordering or rehousing or something.
I don't remember what they're
And
called.
they're reinstating countries' borders, and the country governments who came back, or government officials who just came back from the snap, the blip. They're
The
like,
woozy, the wazzies, the flippy, the floppy.
yeah, they're like, I don't know what has happened in the past 5 years, so what the fuck? We're just gonna continue on as if that never happened. And this group is like, hold on, what the fuck? You can't just continue as if that didn't happen, because it did.
Yeah.
You have to acknowledge it, and we have to move on as one. Was it one world?
One world, one people.
One people, yeah, is
Yeah.
they're saying. And they're like, well, the refugees from all these countries that moved around, you can't just uproot them after living there for 5 years.
It feels like they're really trying to be provocative and say something, but at the same time, they just suck as villains. Like, their
I
whole...
will say the biggest thing that really stood out to me is how they handled police brutality and
With
racism.
any superhero movie, you're only as good as your villain. And if you can't create a villain that is
the 1995
relatable...
Batman Forever.
That is...
Well, the real
That
villain
is-
in
the villain in Batman Forever is the costume designer that sewed those. Look, you gotta find a villain that's relatable. It's like what is it? What was Steppenwolf from?
from Justice League? Steppenwolf?
No, he
Who?
was from... Wolf was from
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Anyways,
But
all
the-
I'm saying here is
But I
like
will say that, like, it's supposed to be less like there's, like, a big bad guy, but I say that
It's more of a political and social issue.
Yeah.
It's tackling...
the real enemy is racism.
Yeah, let's be real. Because they give... So, I've seen this gif, and I'm sure you guys have, where Steve Rogers is the Captain America thinks that they are. Sam Wilson is the Captain America who should be Captain America. And then, what's his name, is the actual Captain America.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the phony Captain America.
What is his fucking name?
Something Walker?
Yeah. So basically, we mentioned this before.
Who becomes
Sam-
U.S. agent who... I know
Sam
nothing
doesn't
about.
even want the shield in the first place.
Right. He donates it to the Smithsonian to...
And under the impression that they were going to keep it
Mm-hmm.
under lock and key as America's. This is how America's Attic is the nickname for the Smithsonian. If you didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, America's Attic.
I've
is
seen the Smithsonian. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, he
Where
was
they keep
under
their
the
junk.
impression.
I saw Dorothy slippers.
Yeah, they have
Very
Dorothy
cute.
slippers. It's insane. Like the collection. We don't even see like a quarter of the collection that they have.
No. They rotated around.
But that deal is not honored.
No. So what happens is, also the show references this. The U.S. government goes up to the Smithsonian and is like, oh, hey, by the way, that's ours. Which the show is like, the government doesn't really own that. The government doesn't own the actual shield. Here's the thing. Shield, S-H-I-E?
Yeah.
L-D?
LD.
L-D.
Sure.
The organization that Fury was the director of
Yeah.
Shield.
The,
They're kind of a part of the U.S. government, but because Howard Stark and Peggy Carter and a few of the other founders created it. Stark was the one who owned the vibranium.
Yeah.
Oh.
Who created the shield.
But
So the shield is actually, with Howard Stark dying and with Tony dying, the shield goes into this awkward stasis where Howard did give legally.
Pepper Potts owns the shield now.
She should.
Yeah,
She
Pepper
should.
Potts owns the shield
So,
now, right? Like, I mean,
She's
shit.
Captain America.
I
Yeah.
would say that because...
And morally and ethically, we should give it to Pepper Potts. Not
But
not
that's not
Gwyneth Paltrow,
That's
just
not-
Pepper Potts.
Just
But that's
Pepper
not what
Potts.
the show does.
No. So I would
should.
say
They should.
legally in the first Captain America, Howard hands over the shield to Steve Rogers. I would say that Steve Rogers is the legal owner and sole owner of the shield.
How pissed would you be if your name was Pepper Potts?
I would love that.
I would not like it at all. I think
I
you would work it.
No, because her name it's her full name, right?
Yeah.
Something Potts.
Pepper Penelope Potts.
It's really
No,
PPP.
I just made that up, but I
don't
just
know.
figured
It
like
fe- it
the
feels-
alliteration would be great.
Alliteration is wonderful.
But it's something like Pepper Potts. Anyways, so I would say that legally, Steve is the sole owner of the shield. So
And-
like giving it to Sam.
Her name's Virginia.
Virginia.
Pepper's just a nickname, I guess.
Yeah, that's
What a
what it is.
missed opportunity.
Virginia.
What a missed
Potts.
opportunity.
So
Patricia.
Anyways, so Steve gives the shield to Sam, and Sam gives it to the Smithsonian. So strictly speaking, it's still Sam's. And the show acknowledges that the shield is in this awkward legal status where no one really owns it.
Right.
Because both the Starks, who legally own it, even though I say that Steve should own it.
Hold on, really quickly though too.
It's in
They
this
have a
weird
child
stasis.
too.
Yeah, but
Pepper Potts and Tony Stark wouldn't
no,
possessions like
she. See, that's the thing.
it's owned by
though.
Stark like their company. It's not owned
It's owned by the.
What about
company.
Happy? What the fuck is he doing?
Happy is still. He's the head of security for Stark Industries.
The forehead
Felt
of
like he
security.
The forehead of security. But like, I would consider it on a legal standard. If you really wanted to solve the issue of who owns the shield, it would be Sam Wilson because Howard Stark gave it to Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers gave it to Sam Wilson. So Sam should be considered the legal owner of the shield, but the U.S. government doesn't want anyone knowing that.
Right.
So
And that doesn't stop them from giving the shield to who they
fucking
believe to
Walker.
fucking Walker, who
He
they
is a
believe
very-
to be
but
their
here's the
new
thing.
Captain America.
He has a very interesting point of view. Steve always introduced himself as, "Hi, I'm Steve Rogers." Walker always said, "Hi, I'm Captain America."
Well, he's entitled.
He feels entitled. But he also has, like, mental health wise, he's not the best. Let me
No,
tell you.
he
I
did-
I don't think he's.
He did talk
Well,
with
we've
his
all got our
buddy
struggles,
about
you know.
like about all the things, the horrible things he had to do when he was in Afghanistan, which
Yeah.
shouldn't
And
really
that's
prepare.
kind of the show's defense of, oh, look, he can't be racist because he has a best friend who's black.
Even
And
though he
I'm
killed
like,
someone.
Yeah, even though he does kill someone.
He murders. He gets very killy. He would have killed
He's
Sam
also
if he could
highly
have.
sexist as well.
He would
That
kill
too.
Santa?
Yes.
Evil Santa?
Oh, I thought you said he would kill Santa if he had.
He
Oh, no.
killed someone.
He would kill Santa.
But not
Fuck
like
you, I'm Captain America. Those are my presents.
Yeah, I mean, he does kill someone because he's like, oh, they're a terrorist, quote unquote, but not really. He's just an innocent guy who should have been tried.
Yeah.
All right, so far what I can gather from all of this is that Wanda Vision, you can skip it unless you want to have a nice time. Winter Soldier
WandaVision-
will undoubtedly be important for at least the
Bucky
future
Barnes.
movies. Yeah,
Bucky
at least for
Barnes.
those Bucky Barnes. Yeah.
Well, the big takeaway is that these characters have sort of transformed themselves. Sam
These are
Wilson.
full on character arcs, and I'm not sure.
I just think in general, and like, I know we're still fresh on this podcast. This is our first episode, but again, in general, I discuss all the time with you guys that more things need to be made into miniseries as opposed to
Yeah.
movies because there is just not enough time to give everybody the character development that they need. And could you imagine if they had taken microscopic sections of the MCU from like 8 years ago and turned it into a
Loki.
miniseries?
Loki.
because
Loki.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, can we talk about
Rose,
Moving on.
Rose, let's talk about what's the show called?
It's called Loki.
I want to say
And-
Sylvie?
Fuck Sylvie. Okay,
What?
oh my gosh. I want to talk about Loki so bad, but we had
For
to
those
get through
who... This is
Falcon
definitely
and the Winter.
audio, so you can't see it. Rose is shaking.
I am excited. I'm like bouncing in my chair because I love the character. I've loved the character Loki since we were introduced to him. And I'm not gonna today. I really don't want to get too far deep into it.
Yeah,
But
we're
there's-
definitely gonna have to do a Loki specific episode at
There
some
is
point.
a difference between the Norse mythological Loki, the comic book Loki, and the Loki that we see in the MCU, the
I pray to
Marvel
all of them.
movies, and the Loki that we see in the Loki series. I do want to say, though, that just to kind of cover this base, the Loki that we see in the Avengers film is the only time we see that kind of version of Loki in the rest of the movies. And the series actually comes right out and says, well, you don't like hurting people. So what the hell happened? It's now canonically confirmed that what Tumblr has been saying all these years since fucking Avengers 1, where Loki was basically under duress. He was tortured or really heavily influenced by the Mind Stone during Avengers 1, which I'm like, okay. Tumblr already knew that. We called that.
We all just want to see Loki as a good boy.
And Loki is such a complex character, though. and
America
I'm
loves
glad-
an anti-hero, though.
I'm so
Like,
glad that
we really do.
the series really highlights. So
He's both an anti-hero and an anti-villain when you really think about
he's
it.
just a complex character. So the series Loki picks up immediately after the Time Stone heist, or not the Time Stone, but like the Infinity Stone heist.
Yes. Where the Avengers go back in time to grab the Tesseract, but
They
utterly
failed.
fuck it up because Hulk doesn't like stairs.
No, and there are two Tony Starks.
Yeah.
One has a heart attack, and the other is just a fumbling idiot who forgot the Hulk doesn't like stairs.
But basically, all you need to know, they go back in time to try to grab the Tesseract, but then they fumble it. And
Loki ends up with it, and
Loki
he's like,
being
"All right,
the
I'm out.
opportunist.
I'm out." And he like takes the Tesseract, which wasn't supposed to happen.
Wasn't supposed to.
And so now we
So
have.
is this like taking place in a separate universe from the Avengers movies?
No, this is a part of the Avengers films.
It branches off as a...
and
is that
we'll
the
get
next
to it.
event?
We'll get to that.
We'll get to it when we explain the TVA's rules.
So, he picks up the Tesseract and, like, goes to fucking Mongolia, which the Loki series is full of references and homages to other Marvel films.
Right. Things that aren't canon.
I have to pee.
Okay.
Okay, we can take a quick break.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I mean, I was like, I didn't want to stop Ani, but we're honestly at a place where she can pick up and start really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
I really have to piss. I'm really sorry.
Hi, Gertrude. This is sweet baby. All right.
Gertie's in the building, everybody.
Yes.
We're back.
All right.
So, the series has a lot of homages and references to other films in the MCU, as well as some comic book stuff that we haven't seen or won't yet to see. The first frame that we actually get, frame by frame, a reference to is Iron Man 1, where Tony Stark lands in the Afghanistan desert.
Oh, yeah.
And if you play that side by side to Loki, like smack dab, middle of the Mongolian desert,
Right when he, like, got to get away from these Avengers.
I'm taking the Tesseract, bye bitches, I'm out.
Yep.
And that's kind of where Loki branches off. That causes what's called a Nexus event, so we have basically a strict timeline, and that timeline has to be kept by someone.
So when something that isn't canon happens, the
Quote,
TVA
unquote.
show up.
The Time Variance Authority, or the Space-Time Police,
Yeah.
show up, and they're like, excuse you, what the fuck do you think you're doing?
He's like the ball sack man from Rick and Morty.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So they're like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? Getting off your beaten path. No. You go back.
You go to space jail or time
Yeah.
jail or whatever this court system is.
But But they have a bit of a problem. They're about to kill a Loki when a Loki is killing them. Oh my gosh.
Oh, is this when we first meet the second Loki for the first time? Like, there's two
Yes.
of them. That's awesome.
There is 2 of them floating about. So her name is Sylvie Laufey-Daughter. But this version of a female Loki is a combination of 2 comic book characters. One is very short-lived, called Sylvie Lushton, and Lady Loki. So Lady Loki and Sylvie Lushton are 2 separate characters. And Lushton is a very short-lived character because what she ends up doing is getting powers, magical powers from Loki, running around as a fake enchantress. And Amora the enchantress, who's the real enchantress, is like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? We have Gertrude in the studio right now.
She is definitely like distracting Jess right now.
No, she's just being Gertie.
Gertie's a puppy. Gertie's a little puppy chihuahua, and I can't stop looking at her.
It's really hard.
Beady eyes
Her
are
dark,
adorable.
beady, almost out there eyes.
Yeah, really.
Like the last little sliver of her eyes are in her head.
It's true. She very cute.
So Sylvie Lushton goes around as an enchantress, and Amora the enchantress is like, fuck you, kill Sylvie. And that's the end of Sylvie's arc. Now, Sylvie, I mentioned this before, that Marvel could be going into the Young Avengers. We get 2 references to the Young Avengers, because Sylvie Lushton ends up in a group that's pitted against the Kid Avengers, like all of the kids of the original Avengers.
What's the Kid Avengers?
Basically, Wanda's kids,
Yeah,
Kid
Speed
Loki,
and Wiccan.
Speed and Wiccan, Kid Loki, Kate Bishop, and a few others.
Is this going to be a show?
Maybe. We don't know yet.
They've
need
set
it.
up the characters.
We have the characters. There have been very many references to this. So Sylvie is pitted against them, and she ends up getting killed by Amora in the comics. Now, in the Loki series, however, we're introduced to Loki's female variant, who a lot of people have called Lady Loki. Now, Lady Loki in the comics is a very different character, and I'm not going to really go into it right now. But Sylvie Laufey-Daughter is the female version of Loki who is going around killing all of the TVA agents because
Right.
she wants revenge on the one who is known as He Who Remains.
Yeah, or just at the time she doesn't really know who's in charge at the TVA, but she just wants to bring it down.
All
Now-
we know at that point is that there are 3 quote-unquote
This begs the question again.
Timekeepers.
Why should casual fans, like myself, watch Loki?
Because it's
because
fun.
it's literally what happens, how the rest of the MCU, where that's going.
Oh yeah, no, this is like
This is the series that really defines the rest of the MCU,
to
regardless.
use a borrowed phrase. This is the Nexus event that brings us into the next big story.
I like that.
Oh yeah, Phase 4, the rest of Phase 4, because
Yeah.
the characters who we meet in Loki are coming back in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. We only get the multiverse, even in What If. What If's opening phrase by a guy named the Watcher.
Watu, right?
Watu the Watcher is the newly created multiverse.
Yeah. So Jess, you know how in the past big series, the big MacGuffin was the Infinity Stones, and how everyone's trying to collect them.
Yes.
It's a
And now-
Thanos.
Yeah, and now the big overarching sort of MacGuffin is the concept of this multiverse.
Multiverse.
I don't
The
know if you can really call it a
possibility
MacGuffin since it's not a physical item, but whatever.
Well, there is, because we have He Who Remains, or Kong the Conqueror.
Yeah, which, like you were saying, is a combination of 2 different characters.
No,
No?
not Kang. Kang has always been.
Well, Kang is Kang, but like
Kang. But
the person
Sylvie-
we see at the end of Loki season 1 at least, is He Who Remains.
He Who Remains, which is
Is he like a Thanos level villain for us?
he's
Not
beyond
yet.
Thanos. Are you kidding me? This guy controls literally everything.
So there
Yeah.
we go. He
He
is.
he is literally He Who Remains. So this Loki series introduces us to
So he's our next big bad guy.
yes,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
absolutely.
He's gonna be the one that's the next Marvel movies are gearing up to take on.
Oh yeah, like Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is already confirmed that the big baddie is going to be this guy.
As well as the next Ant-Man, and I can only assume he's going to piece together here and there after that.
At some point, because now, so Loki creates a Nexus event by taking, like, he branches off the timeline that Kang is like, this is a timeline that has to happen, right? So the time heist, going back and getting the stones and all this other shit, that has to happen to Kang.
Mm-hmm.
Kang is like, this absolutely has to happen, but in order to help him govern this timeline, to make sure that certain events happen the way that he thinks that they should, he's like, all right, I'm going to create what's called the TVA, the Time Variance Authority. You guys are in charge of everything else.
So Kane created them.
Yes and no. So basically, from timelines that no longer exist, branches off what's called the sacred timeline.
Mm-hmm.
He steals people and makes them kind of like mindless servants at that point.
Yeah, he basically erases their
history.
and says that
Their memories. Yeah,
and you were always.
I created you.
Okay.
And you work for me. You work for the timekeepers. And so your whole job is to just keep this timeline in check, right?
So many Umbrella Academy notes, you know?
I know, right?
It's all I can think about when we're discussing it. And it's
very
unfortunate
similar.
it came for... Well, I really love Umbrella Academy, and I know we're not discussing that today, but
Not today.
Not today.
it is similar.
Next time.
But, you know, Loki in Loki fashion ends up meeting like a whole shit ton of different variants. And there are a few other references.
Yeah, there's one episode where he goes to what's basically the trash can
The Void?
of the Void. Yeah,
Different from Sakaar.
Different from Sakaar. It's like everything that was sort of deleted from other non-canonical timelines is there. There's Stark Tower that's owned by someone else. There's
Yeah, really.
I love
there's
that.
the Thanos copter, which
Which
made
is
me
bright
hilarious.
yellow.
A bright
Oh
yellow
my God.
helicopter that says Thanos next to it.
to
That
it.
apparently
There's-
in the comics he actually had,
Yes, he did. Oh my gosh. The
and then
Thanos
was
comic-
later
there
arrested
was-
by the New York Police
Yes!
Department.
Yes, okay. So there is, he has a helicopter. The reason why no one ever, included the Thanos copter before is because it's too
Stupid.
weird. It's too stupid to
It's
actually
too comic
include-
booky, let's be
It's
honest.
yeah.
It's comic
So,
booky.
the whole thing is Wade Wilson. Here's the other reason why they didn't introduce it. Because then you have to introduce mutants to the Avengers.
Oh, I would love Deadpool
So-
in the Avengers.
They'll do it
Wilson-
eventually. I
Love it. Although I read
Or
today
is
Ryan
it-
Reynolds
it
is
is
quitting
February.
acting.
Real? What?
He's
No.
taking a break.
Maybe.
Oh, break.
Well,
I don't know what that means.
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Yeah, it's Wade.
Wade Wilson's Deadpool.
Yeah.
Wade Wilson. He has one of the Infinity Stones, and Thanos uses the Mind Stone on him and makes him this little mini minion, and he ends up using the copter to run around New York, or fly around New York, I should say, and he gets Wade to try to give him one of the Infinity Stones, and he gets pulled over by NYPD. It just gives the fuck
New York's
up.
finest.
He just gives up. He's like, oh, I've been caught by the police. I'm done.
Avengers try to beat Thanos. They can't. Everybody gets
No.
snapped. Fucking boys
It's
in
the
blue.
NYPD. That's
Love
all
it.
we. That's all we needed. Well, we also are introduced to
Oh yeah.
something else.
A little fun guy.
I love him. His proper name is
And this
So-
is one of those blink
Simon?
and you'll miss it kind of.
yeah,
Easter eggs.
it really is Simon Walterson, otherwise known as Frog Thor
Frogthorpe.
from
I love
Lockjaw and the Pet Avengers, where Thor is a frog who was a human turned into a frog.
Mm-hmm.
Captain America, you'll never get this unless you actually read the damn thing.
My first guess was either a bald eagle or a golden retriever.
Yes,
For who?
Captain America.
Let's
You want to just say it?
just say it.
A T-Rex.
Yeah. It's the most American animal that
The most
exists.
American animal you can think of. Ah,
Yup.
T-Rex.
Oh, and Loki's a cat.
That makes sense.
But in the series, we just randomly have Alligator Loki, who's the best Loki in the world. And we also have Kid Loki.
Kid Loki, who we really do need to talk about because in one line he became the most interesting character
that we've ever been introduced.
Mm-hmm. That one line is like, hey, what was your Nexus event? What got you erased? And he's just like, I killed Thor.
I killed Thor. Why does the kid wear the horns?
He's a Loki.
I killed Thor.
I killed Thor.
That's it. That's all.
That's his backstory.
That's his
like an Omen demon spawn.
And I thought about this a while ago, and I'm sure if they do bring back Kid Loki, I want Kid Loki to meet adult Thor.
Yo.
Can you just imagine Thor? No, please let me paint this picture for you. Imagine adult Thor still mourning the loss of his brother, seeing him as a kid, and Kid Thor feeling nothing but regret for killing his brother, seeing the adult he became.
Kid Loki.
Can you imagine that hug?
Oh my god.
Oh, that hug.
That hug. But
or it could go another way, but your way is better.
He'd probably kill him again. Loki probably killed Thor again.
No. So in What If,
for old time's sake,
there is an episode of What If where.
Oh right.
Where what if Thor was an only child and Kid Loki finds him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
That's an episode?
No, what if?
Oh,
like,
exactly. What if?
I want that.
I was like, why haven't we watched it? I've only seen the Thor episode of What If.
What If, yeah, and that's a good one.
Yeah.
But What If is such a show where you could literally do anything. Let's just do everything.
No, it's really smart and super well animated. And granted, I've only seen one episode, but super well done. I don't know how much more of it I will actually watch, but I had a good time.
And I know we're not done talking about Loki yet. I just want to mention episode 2, where T'Challa takes the role of Star-Lord.
Oh my god.
And becomes friends with Thanos after he convinces him not to snap half of the world
Where the
dead.
fuck is Gamora? Because we see Nebula
probably in a
series.
good household. Probably with her mother, who is not dead.
I thought Gamora was the older sister, though.
They're adopted sisters.
Yeah, Nebula doesn't even have an age at this point of how much they've augmented her body.
Yeah, really. It's like Joan Rivers.
Oh, may she rest in peace. What a legend.
But like the whole joke about her was like, oh yeah, my hands are 50, but my age is but my face is 12.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And but no, like I'm assuming
there needs to be a show about Nebula and Gamora because to me they have some the most interesting relationship out of anybody from the MCU. Just their childhood in general.
I see that. Just like the over competitiveness, like you have to.
Oh, can you imagine losing a fight to your sister every day and having another body part taken away?
Oh, I have a brother.
No.
Yeah.
I have 2 brothers, and no.
Just crazy shit. Also,
that's how it worked. Like he beats me up and then he rips out a chunk of my hair as a trophy.
Name? Karen Gillan.
Yeah, Karen Gillan.
Yeah, she is fucking amazing.
She's also from Doctor
Ireland.
Who.
Doctor Who.
Oh, she is from Doctor. I thought you were saying, yeah, she's Irish, but yeah, she is from Doctor Who.
But yeah, no, I will say though for the What If series though. Really begs the question of Odin's motivation.
I thought you were going to say it begs the question of what if.
It really does.
It really does, though.
But Odin's motivation and his understanding of taking Loki. Because in the movies, Odin is like, oh, you were abandoned as a baby in a temple.
Right.
And I brought you your fate. I brought you back. Your fate was to die in that temple. But the thing is, in the What If episode, we get to see Frost Giant Loki. The What If episode is titled, What If Thor Was an Only Brother? Why do they have a fucking better relationship as basically, quote unquote, brothers from another mother?
Well, maybe there actually is some sort of sacred timeline where they're meant to be best friends.
I mean, that's what the episode is.
Yeah.
Because Loki does stick
Because
around.
you never become friends with your siblings until later in life.
But the thing is, though...
It's a brother from another mother.
Yeah, you really just don't, though.
The whole premise of that episode is Odin takes Loki from the temple, and then he's like, you know what, I can't raise a frost giant, so he returns it He returns the baby back to Jotunheim, and the king of the frost giants is like fucking overjoyed to have his son
It's like,
back.
oh, I don't want him either.
No, he's overjoyed. He's so happy to have his son back. So what the fuck, Odin?
Well, if I'm remembering right from Thor Ragnarok, wasn't Odin actually like kind of a warlord who was conquering everything?
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
with Hela.
Hela.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
Hela.
but his like that was also the
oldest.
turning
Yeah, and look
point.
how Hela ended up. Are we saying that Odin's a great father just because Thor ended up like decent? Because he probably fucking isn't. I mean, look at Hela.
Yeah, Hela's fucked up.
She was a
Odin
hell
was a
of
bad
a
dad.
bitch.
But no, like the
I'm
turning
just kidding.
point.
Actually,
though,
I really like Hela, and I actually
Hela's such a badass.
yeah, Hela's such a badass, and fucking Kate Blanchett killed
But
it.
like, it's so sad
But,
she's
like,
only
the
going to be in that
episode,
one
though,
movie.
Yeah,
shows-
Kate Blanchett wouldn't sign on for more than one.
What were you saying, Rose?
The episode shows though that Loki would be much happier as a frost giant. So it's like
Yeah, well, you know,
Less
coulda,
expectations.
woulda, shoulda, you know.
really shoulda
Shut up.
Yeah.
shoulda sent him back.
Do we want to talk about Ultron in the What If shows? Because
Oh my
that to me was
God.
what really stuck
Oh
out.
my god! And the greatest virus of them all.
Oh, right.
So, Jess, what is your basic understanding of What If?
It's exactly what we've been discussing. What if this? What if that? It's like literally
Yeah.
a fucking pipe dream of a show. It's literally just fan service.
I mean, absolutely. But in
Like,
the best way
well
possible.
done fan service.
But what do you know about the overall?
What do you
I
know
guess-
about Ultron?
No,
Oh,
like the
nothing.
overall. I guess like. What do you know about the overall plot line of it, though?
I've only seen one episode, the one you showed me.
Yes, but we've talked about it enough.
So let's just break it down real quick. So
Is there a plot line? I literally thought it was
there
just like,
is.
what if this? What if that?
That's the main point.
So here's
but
the
there
thing.
is a subplot line to it that's pretty much the main plot
It should
line.
just be an anthology.
So in Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, which I'm guessing Jess has not seen,
I've seen all the Avengers.
Oh,
seen
you
all
have
the
seen that.
Avengers, yes.
which is probably one of the worst of the MCU movies, just putting that out there. It's corny. But you remember that Ultron was trying to make a new body for himself, and that became Vision.
Mm-hmm.
In this universe, it's what if that actually happened. So
Ultron versus Jarvis, but Jarvis didn't win.
yeah. And he takes
What
on
does that
the
mean
body.
for Wanda?
Oh, we'll get to
Oh.
that in a sec. So, I know, right? So then he basically succeeds in taking over the world and replacing it all with his little robotic minions,
Yeah, and everyone else is dead except for Black Widow.
except for Black Widow.
How the hell did that
and-
happen?
And your favorite superhero,
Oh yeah, Thor.
Martin.
Hawkeye.
No, Bart.
Oh god damn it.
Clint Martin.
I don't like Jeremy Renner and I don't like Hawkeye. I'm sorry.
Clint
He's
Martin.
like Achilles' heel of this team.
But whatever. They're alive. Everyone else is robots.
Not for very long.
Not for
Ooh,
very long.
cyborg.
Yeah, everyone else is like a cyborg or something.
Does Wanda bring everyone back to life?
No.
We'll get there. And then Ultron, as Vision, is looking over the world and it's like, man, I've done good. And then Thanos shows up and is just like trying to get the Infinity Stone in Vision's head. And
He
then
loses.
Yeah, Vision's just like, oh, slice.
Yeah, he loses the
Dead
fight.
piece.
And we have Ultron now with the power of the Infinity Stones.
And instead of using the Infinity Stones to do what Thanos did and snap half the universe dead,
He's just going to control the entire universe.
he wants to control the entire universe and gain infinite wisdom.
Now, throughout this entire episode, Watu, who is a part of basically a culture or a society of individuals
Right.
who can see other timelines and see other universes outside of their own. So Watu, the Watcher, is watching all this happen, and there is one oath to be a Watcher, and that is do not interfere. You cannot interfere in any way, shape, or form.
You can only watch the events that happen. You can't do
cannot.
anything to alter them.
Watu came so close in the Ultron episode.
Oh yeah, where he's just
Became-
like, it's right. Like they're looking for the quote unquote Death Star plans to defeat Ultron. He's like, it's right fucking there. Look in that file. Look in
right
that
there.
goddamn file, Barton.
I could do it. I could interfere. I could tell them.
It would be
They're
so
right there.
goddamn easy.
But I can't.
Great
But
power comes great responsibility.
Great power comes with
But then
great
that's not
need
even
to
the
take a
best
nap.
part of Watu in that episode, where at a certain point he's just like checking things out with Ultron, and then Ultron's like, I can see you, right?
And he freaks. That's the thing, though. That's not even the first time a character has broken
That's right.
that wall, and it's Doctor Strange loses his heart instead of his hands.
Not literally.
But Christine, he loses Christine, and it brings up a massive fucking plot point that really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because it also shows that there are characters more powerful than the TVA. So the TVA is not really fucking necessary, because the Ancient One, in that episode, splits the timeline of their universe in half. There is one half where Doctor Strange moves on from losing Christine. The other half where he becomes, he just inhales all these monsters.
He wants to become more powerful, so he eats a bunch of monster souls.
Yeah, pretty much.
As one does.
We've all been there.
He wants to bring Christine back. Mm-hmm. So, if there are people who can just yeet a fucking timeline in one direction, what the fuck is the TVA gonna do? Say no? No.
No.
No. You can't stop them.
I like to think that there's a list at the TVA of people not to fuck with, and Egghead Tilda Swinton is on top.
Yeah, we just leave her alone,
Mm-hmm. Don't fuck with her. She's got to pass.
And she, there are two versions of her explaining the sacred timeline.
Well, you have to assume that only someone like Tilda Swinton's character who has this power knows that for the greater good, she's not going to act on it.
Yeah, no, there are two different versions, like I just mentioned, of her explaining as the Ancient One the sacred timeline. There's one where in Doctor Strange, she's like, the multiverse is vast and unknown. We don't know what's out there. We don't know how it's going to be if we fuck around with other universes.
Which I think is her way of saying, don't even try to fuck with it.
But then there's the way that she explains it during the gem heist, right? Where she's talking to Bruce Banner, and she's like, one wrong thing that branches off from a timeline can cause disastrous effects.
The butterfly effect.
Yeah, the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Which is a direct contradictory to what she said in Doctor Strange. It directly contradicts itself. So a lot of fans have pointed out that's the moment where she realizes how fucked up she just screwed.
I think what Rose is asking for is more continuity, throughout everything.
No.
A tighter script.
We've thrown continuity out the window with this. With Loki creating the multiverse, anything
That's
goes.
my thing when you start throwing in time travel and stuff. It's nobody's time travel rules are ever tight enough to exist without any scrutiny at all. Yeah. You just can't. It's
Doctor Who comes close, but that's the topic for
it's
another
impossible.
Well, they've been doing it for years.
Yeah,
they
it's
basically
impossible.
wrote the book on time travel.
Yeah.
But I want to get back to... Oh, I'm sorry. Were you going to say something?
Go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted to get back to Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ultron basically realizes through Watu that there are other multiversal dimensions to conquer.
And he's like, you know what? I'm going to conquer them all.
Yep.
And Watu goes to Doctor Strange. The Doctor Strange... So when the Ancient One splits the timeline in half, it literally collapses in on itself, and the two versions of Doctor Strange meet. Now the monster Doctor Strange,
Dr. Monster.
Dr. Monster.
Monster Doctor.
Dr. Monster.
He did the Monster Mash.
He basically consumes the other one?
Consumes, absorbs, merges.
Eats him?
Doctor Strange eats Doctor Strange.
Yeah, the monster wins, essentially.
Yeah. Bad Doctor Strange reigns supreme.
And then his entire timeline collapses.
But what happens with Wanda?
So, here's the thing.
We don't know.
Yeah, Wanda's not the most important.
Wanda's not important right now.
Not right now.
She's gonna flip out on the whole your Earth.
So the Nexus event was actually hinted at in Wanda Vision, with like there are.
The fake commercials.
I will say this. I respect them not giving the director not giving an actual in show or in universe explanation for the commercials, because canonically the directors and the staff who worked on it, they all say that the commercials are actually Doctor Strange trying to reach out to Wanda through the commercials.
I love
hey,
that.
Wanda, what's going on? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know. He can't get into Wanda's bubble. So he's reaching out to her. He doesn't know if this is Wanda herself or if someone is making her do this. So the commercials from Stark's toaster, to Nexus is all him trying to reach out to them, to Wanda specifically, like, hey Wanda, what's going on? But they never actually included that explanation because they didn't want it to feel like this was a guy, like a damsel in distress situation.
Right.
Where the guy is coming in to save her.
No, and I think that's fair.
And
it's
I really
definitely
do
an
respect
overdone
that.
thing.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
I respect that, but it's also like, what the fuck is all these commercials about? So if you didn't read the interview with the director, you wouldn't know that that's actually Doctor Strange. Because everyone was also asking, where the hell is Doctor Strange in all of this?
Yeah, he's the guy who takes care of this kind of stuff.
Like, where the fuck was he in the entirety of WandaVision? Oh, he was there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they didn't want that to feel like that way, so.
So if we were going to rank these 3 shows in terms of your favorite.
Loki.
And then...
I would say WandaVision's number 1 for me. Loki being the very close second.
I don't know. I guess WandaVision. But we haven't even touched on Hawkeye.
No,
it's Loki, What If, WandaVision, and then Falcon and the Winter Soldier for me.
Okay. I am just very much like, I am a filmmaker, and I just, more than anything, really appreciate the technical level gone into WandaVision, so that's number 1 for me. And then after that, it's all just like, Loki's real dope, so that's number 2.
But Hawkeye is going to be interesting, because...
Oh, right. I remembered a point I was going to bring up earlier, and I just want to rush through it real quick, because I know Jess was asking about it. Vision, Ultron becomes like big supreme guy, and then like Uatu assembles the Guardians of the Multiverse, who are all these heroes from the multiverse, to stop Ultron,
including
Gamora, who
we don't fucking know why.
Yeah, she's awesome though. But one of the things that Doctor Strange used as a deterrent against Ultron is he opens up to the world. Actually, we didn't even talk about the zombies episode.
Oh my god, no.
So he unleashes the zombie Avengers on Ultron, and then there on top of a giant pile of zombies, zombie Wanda.
So we didn't.
Undead Scarlet Witch, full powered, and she's beating him up. But then there's like 1 second where she's like, "Is that Vision underneath all that?"
And he kills her.
Oh.
But to be fair, though, she deserved it. Cause
well, she's a zombie. You gotta.
No, because Vision. So in the zombie episode,
Avengers
we
would be an
didn't
amazing video
even
game.
talk about. We didn't talk about 2 main ones, which was the Killmonger episode and the zombie episode.
Mm-hmm.
In the zombie episode, Scott Lang is a head. He's just a head with the cloak of.
Oh, and he has jokes about it.
Oh yeah, he has so many jokes about it.
You know how in Futurama they have the head in the
Yeah,
jars?
the
It
president's
looks exactly like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. I love that.
There's a moment where he's gonna cry, and one of the characters is like, there now, don't cry, because you're just gonna fog up your glass. I'm just like, oh my lord.
There's always a silver
But
lining.
Vision found a cure for the zombie outbreak, but instead of really using it for good, he ends up using it to lure other survivors.
Yeah, you got it. Survivors.
To his location so he can use them to feed Wanda.
Oh, well, love is love, you know.
Love is love.
Which is bullshit.
Well, you gotta love zombies.
Yeah, zombies are great.
I would definitely say, Jess, I know you're probably not going to watch too many MCU things. If you ever have a half hour to kill, what if
With
zombies?
I could see myself actually watching like the What If show, but all these other ones, like I just won't be doing it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the good
And
thing
having
about
said
What
that,
If.
I did spend a whole day watching the new season of You the other day. So
Well, that's the good thing about like What If as opposed to the big
it's a
serial
quick picking
narrative.
up. Yeah,
It's a quick picking up. Where it's like if you watch any MCU movie, it's like, okay, who's that guy? What was his origin story? Oh,
Yeah.
that happened 5 movies ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Killmonger is in the Black Panther movie, and
Michael B. Jordan.
Oh yes, yes.
Killmonger.
More like Michael B. a hunk.
Yeah, he's a very handsome man.
So he basically gets recruited by Watu, the Watcher, because he ends up like, essentially in his episode, he not only betrays Wakanda, but he kills his cousin, kills Tony Stark.
Yeah, before all of that,
All of that, he just ends up like killing both of them.
Yeah, before all that, he was sort of became Tony Stark's right-hand man, and
Which was Happy's job.
which was Happy's job. So now Michael B. Jordan is the forehead of security. And he used that as an opportunity to gain some more power. Used that to go to Wakanda and sort of bring Stark as a weapon, Stark technology as a weapon. Use that to sort of incite a war and use that to become king. And then it sort of ends on the implication that he's going to have America and Wakanda start a war, probably so he can come up on top.
And the only two who are like, what the fuck? Who are you? What the hell? I don't trust you. Are Virginia Pepper Potts and Shuri.
Sure, me out at
I
first.
love that.
They are such a goddamn dynamic duo.
I didn't know I needed that in my life until I actually saw that episode.
I think like everyone really fell in love with
I
Shuri.
need that.
Oh, my little brother loves Shuri. That's who I named my mom's dog after.
Shuri.
Yeah, Shuri.
Cute.
He loves Shuri.
But, moving forward, we have Hawkeye coming out.
On Christmas.
I say we
Christmas.
touch on that real quick because we're at
Yeah.
about almost at an hour and a half right now.
Okay, yeah.
So,
So one thing I just want to bring out, and this is a small detail that I only saw in the trailers. Hamilton is now Rogers.
yes.
If y'all motherfuckers,
They don't make that.
if y'all don't get Lin-Manuel Miranda to write at least a 20-minute thing about it.
Or the music.
No, they need the musical. They need to release the fucking musical because I would
How
watch
does-
that shit.
Well,
How does a
the
bastard
Spider-Man musical
Brooklyn
kind
Night-
of did not go well. I don't know if you'll remember that.
Well, that's a whole other.
That's a whole other
That's a
thing.
whole tragic episode we have to touch on. But yeah, that aside, I just want to get that out. Another cool detail that you pointed out to me
It's
is
another reference to the Young Avengers, Kate Bishop.
I was gonna mention the hearing aid.
Oh yeah. So the entire Disney Plus series has been drawing very heavily to the comics, like the TVA and some of the insanity that they kind of bring to the Marvel universe is straight from the comics, right? We have a lot of these series and homages to them. But one kind of big detail that audiences has been missing who are Hawkeye fans is the fact that he's deaf. He is partially
Or hearing
lost.
impaired.
Yeah, he's partially
Yeah.
lost his hearing due to an accident, an injury caused by an accident. We actually do see him in the trailers with a hearing aid. So we finally get to see that whole part of his character arc, which no one has seen in the entire Marvel films thus far.
I just think Hawkeye is the most least interesting character that you could do a show on.
I can think of one. I can think of other characters who are less interesting in the main.
Ooh, like
Avengers
Don
cast.
Cheadle.
He's cool.
Ross.
Ross,
Who's Ross?
The-
General Ross.
the guy with the big mustache who doesn't like Hulk.
I don't
Hulk,
know who that is.
the jackass.
Exactly.
No, okay, so the guy
Yeah,
who,
but Hawkeye's like a main character
Yeah.
per se.
Ross becomes kind of important. The Geneva, not the Geneva,
The
Sokovia
Sokovia
Accords.
That's when he
Look,
kind of
I'm
comes
just
to come back
saying.
again.
Yeah.
It don't need to happen.
But we want it to happen.
Well, audiences want it to happen. I don't want it
Yeah.
to happen. But I mean, we get to see Kate Bishop, which is, like I keep saying, another reference to the to the kids to the Young
The
Avengers.
little treehouse club of
Yeah.
Avengers.
So we've gotten now 4 references in each of the separate series. 2 from the kids in Wanda Vision, Kid Loki, and now Kate Bishop.
Yeah. And
How do you guys feel with the direction that everything's going in right now? I feel like the pandemic has definitely affected how we're consuming media in general, and like certainly how everything has been released in terms of Disney and Marvel.
right.
Well, I mean, it fucked up Disney's release royally, so...
A Black
true.
Widow, yeah.
Of the entire series. 'Cause
Yeah. How do you guys feel about everything going forward, though? Like, do you think that the new releases coming out next year and the year after are going to be just as exciting as the
I'm
ones
concerned.
pre-Endgame, or what?
I don't know about Brody, but I'm very concerned for it.
I feel like they have, at this point, enough footing to have more creative license that they definitely should, like, work on. 'Cause,
Fairly
Yeah.
work on.
Fairly work on. I just like to see if they can actually have some more direction into these things, because no offense to the Russo brothers or Taika Waititi, but you could really like get away with not having a director on this. I want more stuff that's like these individual little snippets that are sort of their own little thing that doesn't really have to connect.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair to say.
I feel like
And
that's kind of what's been plaguing
That's
things a
kind
while.
of my concern, though, because not everyone's going to watch these little series.
No,
Like,
no,
the
absolutely
top
not.
The top 2, if you had asked me what my top 2 ones that people really need to watch, would be the last 2 episodes of Loki. So you're introduced to all the Loki variants, and you're introduced to He Who Remains, as well as Sylvie.
Who
Sylvie
becomes a real
Laufey
big
daughter,
deal.
as well as the whole thing of the multiverse, on top of at least one of the episodes of What If, the first 5 minutes, because you were introduced to the Watcher, and the Watcher is going to play a massive role going forward, because I'll throw Falcon and the Winter Soldier in there as well.
So hell, guys, that's 3 episodes. I'm still not going to watch them, but
But you should at least be aware of them.
no, I
because
could see
going
myself
forward-
actually watching the What Ifs. I enjoyed the one I did.
Because what
see.
if, like, going forward,
What
though,
if?
they are going to have a massive impact on the movies, and I am very concerned on how Disney's going to reintroduce all of these concepts. Because we've already been introduced to a multiverse theory with Doctor Strange that was recertified in the Avengers films.
Just a sideline. Are they still saying they're going to make this into the horror movie?
I don't know. They better.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. At this point, if you...
Which one will be a horror movie?
Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness was originally categorized as a horror film before it was changed to fantasy adventure.
Well, I think that could just be like a
Here's my
marketing
thing with horror movies, though. Like, unless you're going for that R rating,
But it's Sam
No,
Raimi.
Chucky? Is Chucky?
Child's Play was R.
Child's Play was R, but I'm talking about
I don't know about the remake. I haven't seen
Sam Raimi from not only the
Yeah, I
Tobey
could
Maguire
get
Spider-Man
behind
films,
Sam Raimi because he did Evil Dead
and Evil
and
Dead.
Drag Me to Hell, which is also really decent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Drag Me to Hell is a good time. I know we're not talking about horror movies, but we're talking about Sam Raimi.
Well, we're talking about Doctor Strange, and that could definitely, like I said, be a little bit more of a creative shake-up to the norm.
If they got Sam Raimi on board,
He is?
okay, I'm down. Yeah, Sam Raimi. I'm totally down. Yeah, he's extremely talented.
Yeah.
But still, once again, I stand by my PG-13. Like, I know they have to because
No.
it's for general audiences. Like, I understand that, but nevertheless.
All right.
Y'all
So,
have,
I feel like I've learned a lot today. A lot of
We-
stuff that I didn't know.
All right. Is there anything you're going to watch now, Jess? Anything?
no, I think we covered that.
All right.
I'll watch some episodes of What If. I just finished up You. Are you guys watching anything right now that isn't Marvel related?
No, but we did see Old.
We did see Old together.
And plot twist.
It
Sucks.
sucks. Yeah, it sucks.
Hey, you want to know how we should escape this beach? I can't think of anything. You want to
Yeah.
try the back exit that's super secret? Well, we haven't tried that yet.
Apparently no one's tried swimming through the fucking coral.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, in their defense, they're both children.
They
Are
were
they?
children.
They
They
were
were
children.
They were
like a
children.
day
They were
ago.
tiny little babies, and then by the time they left that island, they were in their like 40s and 50s.
One had a child.
That baby died.
That baby died, but one of them had a child, and that was
That was a
weirded
little
out.
gross.
I actually feel like if there was not enough time to go into the complexities of like becoming a teenager into your sexual prime and having a child. Oh, don't see it, guys. Just don't do it.
You save yourself. It's
There are better M. Night Shyamalan films.
if you feel like you need to
maybe
see it
one
because you want
more.
one or
Not
two
old.
more, yeah.
Not old.
Are you guys playing any new video games right now?
I
Smash.
haven't. I'm not playing any new video games. I went back onto Kingdom Hearts and
Smash!
Well, yeah, I just saw him on Smash, and I'm like, this is my serotonin for the next 5 days.
Yeah, I'm replaying Let's Go Pikachu right now. Waiting for all those new Animal Crossing New Horizon updates.
That's another
Talking
thing
about
too.
serotonin.
Me and Jess both started new islands.
We started our islands over.
I still have Cerberus.
You still
My
have-
island is called Cerberus.
Well,
Spot.
Cerberus is about to get a lot bigger when they
It's
add some new.
Spot.
Yeah.
Expansions.
We have
I
so
like
many new
my-
content to go through. I can't believe it.
Anything else y'all want to throw in? Any last words to the audience?
Nothing. I've had a really good time. This
All
is
right.
wonderful.
Well, if you have any comments, critiques, questions, possibly compliments, feel free to email us.
Just nothing mean.
Nothing mean. It's our first episode, so
But this
please
is the internet. I will take it.
please be nice to us. It's one frame off at gmail.com. That's one frame off. gmail.com.
This is Rose signing off.
This is Brody signing off.
Oh, Jess already left.
I already ended my recording. Bye, everybody.
Peace out.